It's Esper, the jeans low head, high arms crossed kid with the black tee.
So I wanted to do a little story time for you guys, and I had totally forgotten that this had even happened up until I seen this person on Twitter, and I used to hang out with this person a lot. And then when the last time we ever hung out is that when this story happened. I'm gonna take you guys back to 2009 when I was 16. And I remember this because that summer was so lit. Like, it was the best summer I've ever had. So there was this guy, and we're gonna name him Sam, and Sam and I used to go to the same high school together. And I would see him around school, but we never talked or anything. I would just see him all of the time, like in the hallways. During this time, MySpace was still a thing, and I remember, I don't know if he requested me or if I requested him. I don't remember, but I just know that we were friends on MySpace, and we started talking to each other through MySpace. I don't know who messaged who on MySpace, but we started talking, and I remember that he asked me something about where I lived, and I told him that I lived right by some train tracks, and he was like, "What? Like, where?" So I told him like the streets that it was, and it turned out that he actually lived right by there, like 2 streets away. We were like talking and stuff, and it was during the summer. I don't know how we like came to agree that like we wanted to hang out. Mind you, my parents were really strict. Like, they were strict all up until I turned 18. So I had to like sneak out to get out of like my house to go out. So I would tell him like, yeah, like we can go out like at night because I have to sneak out. I don't know if he had to, I don't think he had to sneak out, but I know I had to sneak out. So I was like, well, yeah, we can hang out like later on in the night, whatever. We set up, so there was like this park that was right in the middle of both of our houses. So we would like I would sneak out and I would like go see him, and we would just hang out and talk. And it wasn't like anything like, it was just like we were just hanging out like friends, and we would talk, and it was actually pretty cool. I remember him being really nice, and I remember that, oh my god, if my mom watches this she might kill me, but I remember that like he liked to drink beer, so I would go before I would sneak out into my parents' fridge, and I would take out some of their beers to go take to him, and it was so nice. And I remember he used to like let me borrow movies all the time that I could watch, and it was such a like nice little thing. I remember him being so nice. Like, it became pretty routine for like me to sneak out and to go see him at the park, and sometimes we would just walk around the neighborhood, and it would be so late, like midnight, 1 in the morning when we would be doing this. We had been hanging out for a few weeks, and I remember that this was in September of 2009. And I only remember that because I remember I moved right after that. So this one time, we like had been hanging out a bunch of times during the summer, and we had always met at the park or just walked around the neighborhood. So for whatever reason, this time he invited me to go to his house, and it was at night. So there I go, and like I snuck out of my house to go to his house, and it was really easy for me like to sneak out of my house because at this time my room was in the very basement, and then right above my room was like the living room and the dining room and the laundry room and all that stuff, and at the very top of that, like on top of that, was my parents' and my little brother's room. So I would sneak out like through the fire escape. That was because there was a big window in my room, and it was a fire escape, so it had like even like the little ladder to go out of, and then I would like go out through the back door. It was like the easiest place to sneak out of. And then plus the train would pass by all the time, so sometimes when the train would be passing by, like I would just walk out like whatever. I didn't even care if I made noise or not. He like told me, because when we had walked around the neighborhood, he had shown me which his house was, so I went, we go to his house. But I remember he was giving me like a little tour of his house or whatever, and then we went up to his room, and like I said, we were just friends, like nothing, there was never no flirting or anything. We were just friends. We had gone up to his room, and we were sitting on his bed, and we were just talking, and like we used to have these really long conversations about God knows what, and we were just talking. So I was under the impression that, like he's the guy, so I'm pretty sure there was like no problem for me to be here, because I don't remember if he had told me like if it was a problem for me to be in his house or not. I don't know, like I had just been invited, so I went. We were just sitting there talking, and it was like still kind of like warm outside. And I remember he took off his shirt, and I was like, well, this might get a little weird if somebody walks in here, but there's no problem. Who would walk in here? Like, it's, you know. So I was like, well, you know, like I guess he's getting comfortable. Like, I don't know. I was just sitting there, and we were like talking, and next thing you know, his door swings open and his mom was right there. And I was like, and she was so mad, like she was pissed. And I was like, what the, like, why, you know, what's wrong? Like, you know, like what's going on here? And she was so mad, and she like told me I need to get the fuck out. And I was like, you know, like I was invited, you know, like I don't know, you know. And I remember that she like told him, and I don't know, like I think she thought something was going on because his shirt was off, but like I don't know why his shirt was off. Like I was just sitting there hanging out, like there, like I said, there had never been anything between us. We were just friends, and we just liked each other's company, I guess. So, you know, I don't know what she thought was going on. And I remember she told him, she was like, you better not even think you're gonna take her home. She could find her own way home, and this and that, because he was driving at the time. And, you know, like, and it sucked because his room was like on the second floor, so I had to like walk down the stairs, and I'm like dip into my house. I was like, imagine if I didn't live so close and I was like stranded there because he can't take me home. But yeah, I remember I left and I just went home because it was at walking distance, like we lived so close. And yeah, I remember after, it was like 2 weeks after that when I moved. Yeah, we didn't really like talk after that. I had moved really far from where I had lived. And yeah, it was so funny. Like, I mean, now it's like funny, but at the time I was so embarrassed because I'm like, I've never been kicked out of somebody's house, and you know, I don't know what she was thinking, but like she was mad, and you know, like she kicked me out of her house. And I don't know why we even like went to his house. Like, it was so routine for us to just meet at the park. And honestly, I don't know why I didn't just invite him to my house, because like I said, it was really easy like to sneak in or out of my house, and my parents would both work, so they would be asleep during the night. And I don't know, but I don't, it was so embarrassing. And like that's the only time I've ever been kicked out of anybody's house, and it was so like we weren't even doing anything, so I'm like, it sucks. Like, but you know, I mean, he was cool, so it was like, and then like I moved after that. But yeah, so that's, you know, it was a short story, but I was like, I need a video up on my channel. And I do see that I have a few new subscribers, so, you know, welcome to my channel. I do a lot of random videos. I do like makeup, rave outfits, DIYs, hair stuff, story times. I just do everything. So welcome to my channel. I hope you guys like it. If you guys have any video ideas, just comment down below what kind of videos you guys want to watch and all that. I also have my Twitter, my Instagram, if you guys want to follow me.